Davy Hite. I just want to take a minute or two to talk to you a little bit about a few things in fishing here today, but certainly something that I have to talk about is my outboard. It gets me obviously everywhere I go, and it's the Evinrude E-Tec. You know, I've been running Evinrude my whole life. My granddad ran an Evinrude, and that's what got me my relationship with Evinrude and gave me the confidence that my granddad had in the outboard. You know, outboard motors, there's not such thing as a perfect engine of any kind. I don't care if you're talking about a Ferrari or heck, a jet engine that you fly in a plane. None of them are perfect, but the one thing you have to have is confidence in your outboard and confidence in what you're doing and when you're tournament fishing. And you know, it's almost comical to me. People say, well, gosh, you're just using, you know, that bait because that company sponsors you. You're just using that rod and reel because that company sponsors you. But what's even funnier than that is you're just driving that Triton boat because they sponsor you. Or most of all, you're just running that Evinrude because they sponsor you. I make my living from tournament fishing. And, you know, I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but I could be running any outboard engine I want to run. I've been doing this 20 years and been able to get a few titles in the process. And it would be foolish on my part to be using a product as important as the outboard motor if I didn't have total confidence in the reliability of the Evinrude E-Tec. And I do. Like I said, no engine's perfect, but I have confidence that the E-Tec, the Evinrude E-Tec, is the best outboard engine made today. And that's just coming straight from the heart. I use them. I've been using them. My granddad was an Evinrude guy, and you know, I am, and I especially like the E-Tec. You know, they've been around 05, 06, somewhere in there when they changed the technology of the standard two-stroke outboard, and they came up with the E-Tec technology. And have I had a few bumps here and there? Sure, but very few. And, you know, a lot of tournaments that I have to fish right up to the last second. I just won a tournament this year and caught the winning fish with 2 minutes to go before I had to run flat out wide open to weigh in. You can't stay and fish until you know you've got to leave and you've got an exact amount of time at 70 miles an hour to be at check-in, because we get penalized a pound a minute if we're late. You don't stay and fish the last 2 minutes if you don't have total confidence in your outboard. And I did in that tournament, and I won that tournament, and a lot of that had to do with my confidence in the Evinrude E-Tec. So if you're looking for a new outboard, please go out and test drive one. You know, they've been really good to me for my whole career, and I hope you'll give them a try.